Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you for joining me again today. Today's post here is for our Inspire.Create.Challenge, so for which I'm a design team member for. So our new challenge launches today, and it's a colour challenge using these 5 lovely, mostly pastel really, colours. Really pretty combination of 5 this time, so that's a little bit more scope to do things, but sometimes I think the more colours you've got, the harder it is to sort of incorporate all of them, or as many as you have. So if you pop along to the description in this video, you will see that there's a link to the post where you can participate in the challenge, upload your photographs. If you've got a blog, link it to your blog, and then we'll pick a winner in a couple of weeks' time. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. I'm going to put those to one side. So those are our colours. My inspiration card is this. Not totally in love with it, but it was a starting point, and it's given me some ideas on how I'm going to do the sample with you today. And the main feature here is the Daisy Lane stamp set. There is a coordinating medium daisy punch there, and my one of my favourite punches is this sprig punch to add a little bit of detail in there as well. So that's what we're using, and we're going to mix up colours and do something a little different with the layout and stuff. So that's what we're aspiring to. So I'm going to put that over there. I'm going to bring in some bits and bobs that I've already got. So the pool party was the colour that was causing me the most problems in terms of how to incorporate it, and on this sample I used it for the daisies, and I wasn't 100% happy with it really, to be honest. So I've pushed pool party onto the card base and kept the Misty Moonlight as the layer, so I've got the blues basically forming my card base, using my my current favourite layering at the moment, which is this panel, which is going to be 3.5 by 5.25, and then the Misty Moonlight's been cut a little bigger to create a border on there. So that's those. So that's that. I am going to stick with the mint macaron to use as my sort of foliage pieces. On my sample card, I brought in the ink pad and added some leaves from the stamp set as well, but I don't know whether it really encroached on the white space a little bit too much really, so we're going to try and just go with the mint macaron in those sprigs instead. And then I'm going to use Highland Heather to stamp my my daisies, and I'm going to bring in the Misty Moonlight again for the sentiment. Okay, so I'm going to what I haven't done is cut a strip of cardstock for the sentiments, so just having a quick look in here for any, have I got any big enough, in fact I haven't got any scraps to stamp my daisies on either, that are out at the moment, so that's fine. It's fine. We shall just grab another piece of Whisper White here. That'll do over here, and we'll get those done. So daisies then. So I just did the 2 on the sample card. Just wondering whether I actually need 3. Now, if we stamp and punch enough daisies for 3, it won't matter if we don't use them, will it? So we'll need 6 of these. Oh, that one didn't stamp very well, but it's alright. We'll probably be able to tuck it in through the underneath something. Just be mindful when you're stamping out your daisies that you want them so that there's a petal going from 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, which matches the punch. So let's just pop that out of the way before have a clarity of that. So the punch shape is like that, so it's going to make it easier for you to get those out if you stamp them in the correct orientation. Okay, so it's only going to take a couple of minutes just to do that, and we'll get them shaped and layered up and then do some of the other construction parts whilst those are just being fussy, really, to be honest, about lining up my punch. It is easy to do. I'm a bit of a perfectionist at heart, really. I think my day job possibly influences that part of me. I have to make sure things are right. That one was a bit off, but it's fine. Okay, so there's our 6 shapes ready to go with the punches. So they're a fantastic tool. We've got a whole heap of different punches available in our catalogue. So things to cut labels and sentiment, around sentiments is what I should say. We've got this beautiful daisy, we've got the larger daisy too. I do like the flower and leaves punch as well, love that. Tailored tag is one that's sort of a label kind of shape, which is really nice, and it's sort of angular for, you know, more masculine kind of shape, but also works really well as a banner punch as well. So lots and lots we can do with those. So I'm going to turn over a couple of those, put up just a spot of wet glue in the centre of these, and line them up, offset the petals, give them a bit of a squeeze in the middle, and we'll leave those to dry completely while we do some other bits and pieces. So you saw there I was just shaping that with just it's a ball tool that I've had for some time, just have it in my stash there. But you can just as easily use like a bone folder or the end of a tool or something to create a similar look. Another scrap here for the sentiment, which I'm going to do in Misty Moonlight, mainly because it's the darker colour that's available. I'm just going to bring that closer to me so I can just line up that block with the edge of that cardstock there. It's your time to shine. Beautiful colour, Misty Moonlight, beautiful. Just wiping that off on my chamois, which is just sat next to me. So I'm just going to bring in my trimmer quickly and we'll just trim that down. Just lining it up with a convenient portion on here. So like that, and then on the other side as well, just to make a nice little skinny strip that we can then tuck into our design. While I've got it in my hand, I'm just going to take my snips and cut the end there. Okay, I'm not going to do the other end because I think it's going to end up being tucked into under something, so we'll do that. Right, let's start putting something together. I'm going to layer this up because we're not doing any stamping on this particular layer. I can't notice. I'd put my punch down and hidden where I'd put my Stampin' Seal. So this is going onto my Misty Moonlight layer. Line up the 3 edges, and then that will go like that. The Pale Papaya is being brought in using this beautiful ribbon. What do they call this? Is it just what is it called? They just call it papaya and white. Oh, woven ribbon, that's it. Woven ribbon. So that's where the papaya is going to come in. So I'm going to use a couple of strips of seal on the back there to secure this in place. Now this is quite a thick ribbon. In terms of it's quite bulky. So getting that nice and secure on the back there, preferably straight. Probably won't notice once everything else is on anyway. It's not thick enough though to, I was just checking to see whether it would be better to raise this up on dimensionals because of the thickness of the ribbon, but I think we can get away with just putting it on flat, which is fine, because I want the dimension to come through with the embellishments rather than adding it right now. Otherwise it can be a bit too bulky and we don't want to have to pay extra for postage unnecessarily. Okay, so that's where the Pale Papaya comes in. I have cut another strip to do a bow, but I'm not entirely certain I want to use it, if I'm honest. I was going to do it that way. I'm going to do bunny ears. So these, my tails end up in the right position every time when I do it that way. So let's just stick to what we know works, and just fiddle about with those loops until you get to a position where you're happy with it. So because it is a thicker ribbon, get a nice bulky knot on that, so it won't have the drape of some of the other ones. So that on the sample card I made, I used the crinkled seam binding ribbon, and it's got a bit of a drape to it, which sort of adds some lightness to the card. So there's a bow ready to go, and it's just a question then of how we're going to put everything together, really. So I do like to sort of try and sort of plan out my layout before committing to sticking anything down, you see. So we're thinking here, and you know whether, oh, that one hasn't dried. Oh, that's bizarre. I must have not pressed that hard enough when I put that together. Silly. But we want to still make sure we've got room for everything, you see. Oh, do beg your pardon. That was probably terribly loud down the microphone. Do apologise. Just kicking the last little bit of a cold that I had last week. It's mostly gone now. Just every now and again have a bit of a coughing fit. So it was a case of, oh, feels okay, I'll switch the camera on, I'll risk it. So I'm thinking that maybe the second flower just, sorry, the third flower just isn't going to work in terms of the space that I've got, which is fine. And then we're going to slot in our foliage to add a bit of additional texture, and of course it brings in that final colour. Not sure about these bits here. I think these bits both need to be down here, tucked in underneath there and in there. Okay, right, cool. So that's what we're doing then. So let's peel that off, get this into place so that we know where everything's going to congregate. If we put wet glue on the flowers, we will have some time to adjust where they go. So we pop that one sort of there, and that one sort of there for the time being. We want a glue dot, which I put down there. Glue dots are the best way to stick down bows and ribbons and things. They're really, really strong. You just press it onto the back, and that will hold that in place without any bother whatsoever. These two little strands were going to go underneath, weren't they? Oh, just bringing in my craft sheet there just to assist with that. So just a spot of glue on there. I'm just going to lift the ribbon and use that this little pokey thing to position that underneath there. If any glue gets on your card base, it's going to dry clear, so no need to worry too much about that. And this one I was going to tuck in under here, wasn't it? So peeking out over the edges of your layers is a good way to go as well, because it just sort of brings everything together in a way that you wouldn't expect, really. Okay, is that all the colours? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is. Okay, could stick some bling on there as well, but I think we've probably got enough on there, to be honest with you, with everything, all the texture and detail and stuff. We could, if your daisies end up a bit flat, just you can just fluff them up a little bit. But yeah, so there we go. That, to my mind, uses the colours much better. I think there's more impact with the colours in this combination. I say this one, I don't know, I think it was the flowers really that did this, and the background stamping, but there you go. It's an alternative anyway, just to sort of see how that would look with some different bits and pieces. But this one has worked out far better, and I hope you've enjoyed it. It's a bit of a longer video because I was messing about with the layout and stuff, but I think sometimes it's nice to see the process and twiddling about with things, just to see how these things come together. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Do check out the description and go over to the blog, which will have 1 more pictures and 2 there'll be a link to go straight back to the Inspire Create blog post too, and then you can participate if you want to, or you can just have a look at what the other design team members have made with these colours. I've seen a couple of them, and they are really, really pretty. Really, really pretty. Fascinating what people will do with the same sort of inspiration, if you like, as in this case being the colour combination. Right, waffling now. So I'll see you soon. Hope you've enjoyed it. Take care. Bye bye.